What is up, everybody? Welcome to Rabble of Thrones. This week, we're going to talk about the episode titled No One. My name is Chris Taylor. As always, with me in the Rabble HQ, I've got Tyler Hoskin.
Howdy.
And in the Rabble Brothel, with the bedroom door open, Taylor Burt.
Bedroom door open, bed
Look
made.
at that, you're ready to sell.
I'm ready.
Come on, someone buy it.
Someone buy my house, please.
So, opening credits back where they belong. Thank you very much. No bullshit before. Just let's get right to the shit.
Yep.
So okay, so we see the play again, and I'm like, why are they showing us this again?
When it opened on the play,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh.
I mean,
you knew what it meant.
Right, and it ruined so many cool theories that were floating around of, like, the Tyler Durden theory of Arya. I loved that theory, and I wanted it to be true so badly. And she's not Tyler Durden. So I'm very disappointed. So the one thing I did notice, though, is the actress lady took Arya's advice and, was like, oh, Cersei would be angry. And, she really played up the anger at the end. So that was cool. So she goes back in, like, backstage, and she pulls up her drink. I'm like, I wouldn't be drinking that. Someone's trying to kill you. But,
yeah, why would you continue to have the exact same routine?
Right.
When you know someone was stalking that routine and trying to kill you.
That's right. So she hears a noise. There's Arya all bloody, and, like my note says, so much for Tyler Durden. So
my notes for this was, so it just shows how crazy and dumb we all are for our stupid theories.
We're just grasping at, like, craziness.
Because I think it's because the show, and I'm sure we'll get to it, the show, I feel, used to be a lot more interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Yeah, this Arya plotline was so superficial, might be the wrong word, but it was
very
so,
ho-hum.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
It was exactly what you expected. There was no twist. There was no misdirect. There was no...
Nothing.
Cool conspiracy theories. It was just, so this shot, for me, this also shot down, Arya is also stupid.
Yeah.
So the whole conspiracy theory about her, like, throwing her money around and where did she get the money and acting like an idiot and making herself known.
Right. None of it mattered. Like, not
that was
all
so,
of that. Yep. It was
none of that mattered. So that was also, you learn nothing. You're an idiot.
Well, okay, no, you don't learn nothing. You learn that she isn't no one.
I meant she learned nothing.
That's not technically true. She learned that she is Arya Stark.
I guess, but, like, her survival instincts to get out of the city in that previous episode, it was so stupid, we all thought it was a misdirect.
Right.
But then it wasn't.
And here's the thing. Like, it said in that episode, description, it said Arya makes a plan. Arya didn't make any fucking plan. She walked around like an idiot, throwing money around, and then got stabbed in the gut. There's no plan there. Unless what?
No, there's no unless. Like, that's the silliness. We'll get to Tyler's thing, but I do like that she learned she was Arya Stark. That was cool.
That is definitely cool. So, okay, so she's fucked up. So the lady, the acting lady, like, bandages her up and tells her how she got good at bandaging people up because she always picks the wrong dudes and they'd get into a fight and she'd stab them and then sew them back up. And my note here is, wow, that's convenient. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, exactly what we need.
Oh, that's convenient. Yeah. And it just, I want to say, because Lindsay posted it in our Slack chat, I want to know if anyone else had the same thought of Tisba to scratch.
Yes.
Yes.
They recapped Waif twisting the knife in her gut. And Arya is what? Like in the show 13, 14?
She's probably about 15 now, I would say.
15, 16?
Yeah.
She survives this?
Yeah, like nothing.
It's just a flesh wound.
Just a scratch.
No.
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 I'm not buying it. Not buying it at all.
Arm's gone. No, it's not.
So they said. So she's like, you know,
Bite your legs off.
what happened to the chickie that was trying to kill you? She's like, oh well, she'll never act again after what I did to her face. Which whatever. So then, she's like, oh, we're going to Pentos, and I'm like, okay, Pentos. I don't know if that's really. And then Arya, like, she's like, well, Essos is east and Westeros is west. What's west of Westeros? And she's like, I want to go there. Like, what does that even mean? Like, is it just am I reading too much into it? Should I just, like, let that line go?
I think the only thing I learned from that is I was like, oh, Essos is east, Westeros is west. That's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
okay.
Clever naming, George R.R.
Yeah, so here's some milk of the poppy, have a nap, basically.
And then I was hoping this would be a misdirect, too, and I was like, oh, the actress is gonna secretly be Wave.
Right, and I thought that, too. And then I'm like, wait, but she's not dead, but I guess, I don't know, anyway.
And then, nope.
Nothing. And then we get these 4 dudes, and they're just sitting around talking, and I'm like, okay, so there's 4 random dudes. I'm like, these guys are fucked. So,
Yep.
the one guy's telling the other guy, like, how to kiss a chick, and you put the hand on the back of her neck, and the other hand on the small of her back, and the middle finger right up her butt. Apparently that's the way to do it.
Well, that's the way to do it to dudes.
Oh, okay.
How to teach it.
I see.
Well, if you're teaching it to a dude, then that's what you do.
Good news, Mom and Dad, I got a part in Game of Thrones.
Bad news is some dude's gonna try to stick his finger up my butt.
I get the finger up my bum.
And I get my head chopped off.
So then the Hound shows up and just fucks all of these dudes up.
Yeah. The last dude?
The last dude. Hey, where's the one in the yellow cloak? I'm not telling you nothing. Or no, he's like, no, fuck you. And he's like, you want that to be your last words? And he's like, cunt. He's like, you suck at dying, or you're shit at dying. So good.
This is a good Hound episode.
It's a great Hound episode because the Hound is awesome in this, and I missed him so much, like his just his sense of humor.
Yeah,
and it's great to have it back.
So
because this episode was a little dull for me, I was also the actor who plays the Hound, Rory McCann.
Yeah,
is like a nut job.
Oh, really?
Well, like, he's in a band and can play every instrument you can possibly imagine. But he just, like, apparently loves living off the grid and will live for months on a boat and then months just in a field. And then, awesome. Like, behind a house. He's just a transient, apparently.
I would love to do that until I want to do something on the internet. And then I would be like, oh, yeah, living off the grid sucks.
Well, as we discussed, I don't know, in Scotch Sporting last week or Game of Thrones last week, it would be until I had to poop outside.
Right, and that would be the end of it for you.
And that would be the end of it. So I could go maybe a day, depending on what I ate, and then I'd have to go inside and poop.
Right, gotcha. So, okay, so we go to Meereen, and Varys and Tyrion are discussing the Red Priestess's, you know, saying Daenerys is right and all that jazz. Basically, we learn Varys is leaving. We don't know where he's going, but he said he has to go back to he's like, we need friends in Westeros. So is he going, my understanding or the way I'm thinking, he's going to meet the
Greyjoys?
The Greyjoys?
Thank you. Wow. I was going to say Grey Worms. That's Grey Worms.
I thought he was just going back to Westeros to see who could be on their side.
Because he
that's
said
what he's going to take, though, right?
Well, because he said they need ships.
Right.
So, like,
he's
to
going
me,
toward the ship. I think he's going to go that way and bump into them. Maybe not necessarily his actual trip is to go see them, but he'll bump into them or something.
Right. Uh-oh. So. Yeah, so, okay, so where were we? Oh, yeah, so he's like, I'm going to go the rest of the way on my own because I can't go on a secret mission if I'm with the most famous dwarf in Meereen, or in the city. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And so he starts walking, and Tyrion's like, Varys, he's like the most famous dwarf in the world, just so you know.
Mic drop.
Boom.
And thus ends the Varys and Tyrion show.
Yeah. That's okay,
For
though.
now.
That's okay, though. I mean,
Yeah.
they weren't as good the second time around as they were the first.
They weren't as cute an odd couple.
Right. The first time around.
He was Tyrion was a giant drunk. Not that he isn't now, but
right. So Qyburn comes running in to see Cersei and says, "Hey, the Faith Militant are in the Red Keep." And she's like, "Well, what are they doing here?" And he's like, "I want to talk to you." So she's like, "All right, cool, let's go talk." So
and all of us were like, "Here we go, here
yes,
we go."
Yes. So.
And then what happens?
She marches down the stairs, and there's Lancel, and Lancel's like, the Septum wants to see you in the High Sept, and, wants to have a word with you. And she's like, nah, he can come see me here. And Lancel's like, it's not a request. We're kind of like, he commands you. And she's like, nah, I'm not going. And he's like, order your man to step aside, or there will be violence.
I choose violence.
And she chooses violence, as we know from
the
trailer. Yes. So dude in the front with this weird fucking thing smashes the mountain in the chest. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna go down. So knocks that dude down, rips his head off.
Yeah, literally.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's violence? Like, this is... right there, I should have known that I was going to be very pissed off with this episode.
This is like... I don't know if Tyler's been subjected to it through Katie, but this is like Bachelorette style fake hype.
Right.
So, like, I'm new to the series, but I know reality TV, and the previews for every episode are always like, this is the most shocking episode of The Bachelor ever. And they'll take a clip of a guy saying, like, I will push you off the roof. And then when they actually show the episode, it would be like, man, if I got to go on that date, I would push you off the roof. Like, it's something completely... But they just edit the previews to make it look like something insane's going to happen.
It's the same way they did with this, with the Jamie scene, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Right? It's the exact same thing, because that Jamie scene in the preview, you're like, oh, fuck, who's he talking to? That sounds serious. And then when you see it in context, it's, like, way less serious than...
I know. The context of this, I Choose Violence, because this was...
Right.
I think that I Choose Violence was a clip they were using to promote this season.
Right.
Yep.
Not just this episode.
Not just this episode, but we were, as the audience, expecting to see craziness.
We were expecting violence.
And I was expecting Lancel to have his head ripped off, not random extra B. So, yeah.
The best part about watching Star Trek is when they sent the lead characters on away missions.
Right, and you're like, oh.
And then it was just the extra that they sent.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
It's the red shirt.
The red shirt, yep. Okay.
In my family, it was Ensign Timmy.
I like it. So, okay, so we go to Brienne rolling up on the Lannister army. And Pod's like, oh, it looks like a siege. She makes fun of him for having a really good military mind.
Very intelligence you've got there.
So, the Lannisters like roll up on them and they're like, yo, who are you guys? And she's like, I'm Brienne. Tell Jaime I'm here to talk to him. So Pod's like standing there, and then Bronn just comes up behind him and fucking chokes him out. I was so happy for this scene.
We get the reunion of Bran and Pod.
Yeah, it's so awesome. And Bronn's like, you think they're fucking in there? He's like, no, I don't think they're fucking. He's like, I'd fuck her. He's like, you'd fuck her. He's like, I know he'd fuck her. And then he tells him about the, and he says, oh, but you got that magic cock, and grabs him by the crotch, which is weird. And so,
two gayish moments in this.
yeah, and then he and so then he's just like, like talking about learning how to fight, and Braun's like, "Do you want me to show you how to fight like I fight?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, see how your feet are like a yard apart?" And Pod looks down, and Braun just smacks him in the face. He's like, "Just expect that everyone's trying to hit you." So yeah,
Everybody
it was
hit a squire.
yeah, it was a cute scene. I'm glad it was in there. It was like one of the shining moments of this episode. I think the comedy in this episode was
I was
good.
gonna say, which is sad because this scene led nowhere,
Right.
and accomplished nothing, and
Right.
it was one of the best. Which is,
But think of all the comedy in this episode, and it was all well done. So
And yet pointless.
right. So we go and we see Brienne and Jamie talking, and so Brienne's like, "Hey, why don't we go in there? Let me go in there. Let me talk to the Blackfish. Sansa wants him to fight with her. So if he surrenders, give us free passage. We'll head north. You guys have the castle back. No big deal." Jamie's like, "He's not going to go for that." And she's like, "Well, let me try." Okay. So that was like that whole scene, basically. Like, I mean, there was a lot more yip
I'll
yapping.
just say, if I fail, we have to fight.
Right. Well, no, that was after, because she goes to give him back the sword, and she's like, you gave me this sword, to fulfill a duty, I did that duty, here, have it back, and he's like, no, it's yours, it's always been yours.
I thought it was going to be something like, keep your oath.
Right. So instead, now as she walks out the tent, she's like, oh, by the way, if he does say no, honor compels me to fight for him. For Sansa's kin, and that means even against you. And he's like, all right.
You're right. Like, that's gonna happen.
Sure, whatever. Like, I may have one hand, but I can kill a woman. I don't think so. So, okay. So then she goes to talk to the Blackfish, and he's like, nope, won't even look at the letter. He's like, I don't care. And then he says, because he doesn't believe that Jamie's going to keep his word anyways. And so Brienne's like, well, he kept his word when Catelyn let him go. So, so when Catelyn let him go. So, just hear it out. So he reads the letter. He's like, oh, she sounds like Cat. And, yeah. And so he still says no.
And Brienne has failed again.
Send a raven to Sansa. Tell her I failed.
She is not very good at the things people ask her to do.
No, she's pretty bad.
What is she won at? I guess
Wow.
finding Sansa?
Yeah, well, she found Arya too,
Yeah.
so she was good at that. She's good at being with Jamie when he lost his hand.
Yeah. Like, she's put in charge of a lot of people, and then it doesn't work out so good.
Right. So, okay, so now we go back to King's Landing. And Cersei and the Mountain and Qyburn walk into the...
Fuck this scene.
Right?
Fuck this whole
Right.
scene.
So this scene
Fuck
this scene destroys... Well, it doesn't destroy, but definitely, like... puts a damper on the whole Clegane Bowl.
Tommen canceled the Clegane Bowl.
That little shit better die soon. So, okay, so she walks in, and Kevin's like, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, well, there's some sort of royal announcement, and I wasn't invited. Like, what's up with that? And he's like, well, it's now, so good timing. And she's like, okay, so she takes a step forward. He's like, where are you going? She's like, I'm going to be with my son. He's like, nah, you can hang out in the gallery with all the other ladies. Like, burn, Cersei. So, what's my note here? Oh, hold on, where is it? Okay, faith and crown, blah, 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 blah. Basically, the trials for Loras and Cersei are coming up, and trial by combat, we're not going to do that anymore.
Yes.
Wait, what?
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 No hype?
No hype.
No
No
hype.
hype.
So,
Game
Help.
over, man.
help me out with this next thing. So after that announcement's made, she turns to Qyburn and she says, "What about that rumor? Is it true or is it something more? Or is it just a rumor? Or is it something more?" And he says it's something more. What rumor is she talking about?
No idea.
So I was on the Reddit episode live thread
Right.
to try and get.
I'm so glad you were there.
And between smatterings of unconfirmed, fuck Tommen, King Tommen, ruiner of the hype. So after that, it was about the rumors,
Yeah.
the wildfire under the city.
Okay, that's that. Okay, that's what I thought too, but I wasn't sure.
That is what the internet thinks.
Okay.
Makes
Well,
sense.
Wildfire.
let's
hidden through the
just
city.
let's just say right now the internet's been wrong about a lot of things so far this season.
like everything to
Like-
do with Arya.
Like everything. Yeah. Okay.
But because when he said like, oh, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
That referring to the amount
Of
of
wildfire.
wildfire. And I
Well-
think we talked about our thoughts that Cersei's gonna burn King's Landing.
There's. It's funny because I have a note about it when Jamie's talking to Edmure, he says burning cities to the ground. When
Yes.
she about her children, so, yeah. So okay, so that's the consensus on the internet.
That is the internet consensus.
Perfect. Okay, so Tyrion is drinking. Surprise, surprise. Doesn't want to drink alone.
This scene was the worst.
Doesn't want to drink alone, so he's like, let's get these people who don't normally drink to drink. So they're drinking, and it's like, let's tell some jokes. And he tells a joke that I didn't even understand the punchline.
How do you not understand the punchline? The fly's got beer in him. Spit it out.
That's okay. I didn't. Yeah,
He wants all the beer.
I guess, but that doesn't seem like a Stark thing to do. That's why it was just like I'm not following.
Well, it's a
So-
Lannister joke.
Right. Yeah, okay. So then Missandei tells a joke, and her joke's terrible.
Her joke is pretty bad.
And then Grey Worm's like, "Oh, I've been a soldier my whole life. You don't think I heard a joke?" And then
Apparently that was a joke.
that was a joke. It was just
Right?
it was just not a
Hilarious.
good scene.
Guys, I literally went to comedy school, and that stuff is comedy gold.
Okay, so every comedy scene in this episode except that one worked.
Gold.
Right.
This was like they had time to fill.
Right.
Or
Obvious.
they needed to establish the boats coming in, and then they could
Did the
just
boats-
cut straight to it.
Did the boats come in now?
Yeah.
Yeah, they run outside as they're laughing.
Right. Okay.
So I guess they wanted some sort of establishment.
Oh,
shot. This
that's what it's supposed to say. I'm like, I have a note here. It says Bella are bad. Must be bells. Bells are bad. Yeah.
Bells
The
bad.
bells are ringing. Boats showing up. This isn't going to be good. So, I think they said it's the Masters that are coming, right? So,
Yeah. For their
okay, so Jamie and Edmure, this is the Jamie and Edmure scene. First of all, I have a huge problem, and I might have mentioned it already on the podcast, but I have a very serious problem with Edmure. The long, disheveled hair and completely clean shaven. They let him shave, but they won't cut his hair. I don't understand it. It's driving me insane. Can't you put a fake scraggly beard on him?
Have you guys watched The Night Manager?
No.
Because he's in The Night Manager.
Okay. So does he have
Without
to be
beard, so maybe just the actor can't grow a beard.
I mean, that's fine but even if you can't grow, like, I can't grow a beard, but you can see that I have stubble, right? So this is going to grow with however long. He's apparently been imprisoned
For
since
years.
the Red Wedding. So for years. And they still
And-
let him shave, but not cut his hair.
No.
I don't
You
get
can
it.
have a razor, but you are not allowed to touch your long hair.
Right. So, okay. So him and Jamie are talking, and like I don't know. So Jamie says to him like, "Listen, I'll I hear you have a son. we'll take him to Casterly Rock. He'll be trained how to fight. When you get out of all of this, we'll give you a lordship and everything. Like, hey, we're gonna hook you up. And Edmure's like, I'm not buying any of your bullshit. Blah blah blah. And yeah, like just so much like, oh, you're the Kingslayer. I don't trust you, and it was kind of a boring scene.
We've been through with this scene, like we've been through this earlier with Jamie.
Right.
I thought it was interesting that Jamie essentially confessed everything to him, so I thought Edmure was going to die.
That was weird, right? Because he's like, I love Jamie, or I love Cersei. You can snicker all you want and say whatever you want.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, for sure you're going to die, because no one...
Because now I'm going to cut your throat, so say whatever you want.
Yeah,
right.
But then this scene made me upset, because is Dick Jamie back? Because
I don't
we
think
spent
so.
3 years redeeming him.
No, I don't think Dick Jamie's back.
But he threatened, and this is what links back to the wildfire. He said that Cersei would burn down the whole city to save her children.
Right.
And he'd do anything for Cersei and kill anyone for Cersei. And it's like, we just went through 3 years of redeeming Jamie.
Right, but he still loves Cersei. Like, that doesn't change.
And that's disappointing. Because Cersei's crazy and he can't see it.
Right. So, so he says he'd slaughter every Tully to get back to her. Is basically, like, he's like, I don't give a shit about any of you. I don't give a shit about any of the Freys. I don't give a shit about any Tullys. He's like, all I care about is getting back to Cersei. I'll do whatever it takes.
Including catapult your kid.
Including catapult your kid into the thing. So.
Which is straight out of the books, and that's how they get... Oh. I'm sorry, Chris. I need to sell some betting stocks. Hold, please. Yeah, that's straight out of the books, and that is how they get Riverrun to surrender. So that, like, but somehow in the books, Jamie's turned on Cersei.
Right.
At this point.
That I don't understand.
When he finds out she slept with a bucket load of other people in his absence.
Right.
He turns on her over that.
Right. Well, that makes sense. So.
Sorry, pal.
Yeah, well, remind me to edit this part. Remind me to edit out my tears.
Talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. You know I wasn't...
I know. We're just happy to have been invited.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so... so we see Edmure walk up to the castle, and he's like, yo, open the gates. And Blackfish is like, don't fucking let him in, this is a trap. And Edmure's like, I'm the lord of, I'm the rightful lord of Riverrun. Open the gates. And the dude's like, he's my lord. Like, he's telling me to do this. I have to do it. And so they open the gates. And
I wondered what the trick was.
What do you mean?
What, like, obviously it was going to be a trap, but it's not like he was the Trojan horse and he had 1,000 men under his shirt.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the trap
was, because he has the lordship.
Yeah,
power,
so that's sort of like that was really cool. Like that being the twist of like, okay, let me in, and then I'm going to command you to stand down because you have to listen to me.
Right.
That was interesting.
And so he's just like, yep, lay down your arms. We're going to open the gates and let them in. Oh, okay. Oh, and find the Blackfish and put him in irons. And I'm like, oh.
Ruh-roh.
Okay. And because they're going to hand him over to the Freys. So I guess the payoff or the trade-off was we're going to let you go, but we're going to take the Blackfish as our prisoner. So, and then my note here is this is dumb, but okay. Oh, right. So now the Blackfish is running. Sort of, and he's with Brienne and Pod, and they're on a little rowboat under the castle, I assume.
Yeah.
And he's
I thought he was gonna get out of this.
He's like, "Oh, go!" And she's like, "You should come with us." And he's like, "No, I'll be fine. I'm gonna stay here and fight. I haven't had a good sword fight in a while." So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, they're going to take off, and he's going to fight, and we're going to see this epic, like, him fighting to his last breath.
Yeah.
So we see Jamie at the top of the castle, and they're like, oh, we got the Blackfish. And he's like, cool, bring him to me. And he's like, oh, he died.
Oh.
So you're not even going to show us?
Some production
You're
budget.
not even going to show us him dying?
No.
What the fuck?
Unless he escapes in the books.
Okay.
This all happens, and he like swims away essentially.
So, but all right, but they okay. I guess.
But I don't like. I think he's probably dead.
Right.
I think they probably legitimate because like it would have made sense for him to go with Brienne.
Brienne, right.
And that would have been a cool advancement of that
Right.
plot.
But instead, he's dead.
Yeah, he just dies off camera, like
So,
Stannis.
It's so dumb. So dumb. Fucking. Anyways, now my phone's like blowing up. So
For tomorrow. Well, my notes for the scene were, "God damn it, fuck, and you pussy bullshit."
yeah, it's so dumb. Okay, so so now we go back to Marine and the boats with the trebuchets on the boat. That's cool, right?
Yeah,
Just
this
fucking
was visually very
launching shit into the city. I'm like, this is cool. So Tyrion's like, he comes running up the street. He's like, I fucked up. I'm sorry. And they're like, no, you don't get to talk anymore. Like, you're the reason we're in this shit. And so Grey Worm's like, we're gonna stay in the pyramid because it's all we can protect. And and my note, as they show the ships, my note, this would be a really good time for a dragon to show up.
Or let two of them loose.
Right, or let two of them loose, something like that. So
I thought this was going to be Iron Fleet battle. I thought they were going to meet in the bay. And
that would have been cool too. So, but instead we hear what sounds like something hit the roof, and then we hear footsteps, and it's like, oh well, obviously we know where this is going, and they open the door. Like, oh, we better be careful, and then they all bow down because Daenerys walks in the room. She's gonna be pissed.
I leave for 2 days.
I'm gone for 5 minutes, and
this is why I can't take a vacation.
All of this up. So that's that. Oh, and you see the dragon fly off in the background, and I assume it's just gonna fucking just burn the shit out of them.
She can't hold any city.
No.
I've been saying this about Daenerys for a little while. Like, she can't. How is she gonna rule Westeros if she can't hold a city like Marine?
So.
Silliness.
All right, so let's get to some more Hound stuff. At least we can have something good. So he's walking along and hey, there's the three dudes and they're hung up, getting ready to be hung. And who's got them? Fucking Thoros and Beric.
Yeah.
So Beric's back. We had no idea he was going to be back. We knew Thoros Amir was going to be back, but we didn't know. And so I'm like, okay, cool, Beric's back, but this throws a huge monkey wrench into the Stoneheart's wishfulness.
Unless they've just introduced Beric, so we remember him. So when he kills himself.
But hang on, I mean, because in the books it was right after, wasn't it? Like, she was decayed a little, but it was like right after, right?
Yeah, it was like 2 days.
Yeah, this is like years later.
So
she would be
it's
like,
not happening.
It's I can't see it happening unless they do it a different way, or that she's always been there somehow.
Then who resurrected her?
Have we seen them since the Red Wedding?
We have not seen.
Right, so it is possible, and it's also possible that I don't even know.
But book canon is Beric Dondarrion resurrects her.
Right.
And dies in the process. He gives his life to her. So yeah, you're right. Either this happens another way.
Yeah.
Or it's not happening.
Right. So
I'm a little sad.
So the Hound's like, hey, why are you hanging these dudes? And they're like, oh, they killed a Sept and a bunch of people, and That's not how we do things. And he's like, "What? Why are you looking for him?" Same reason. And Hound's like, "I want to kill them." And they're like,
Let me do
"No."
it. They're mine.
They're like, "No, they're our men. We got to take care of this." And he's like, "They're like, we'll let you have one." And he's like,
I love this
"No,
guild
I
bargaining.
want two." And they're like, they kind of like look at each other like, "Okay." So he gets the axe and he's getting ready to like hit the guy. And they're like, "No, you gotta, they're just hanging." And he's like, fine." So he kicks the one dude's thing over, and then he kicks the next dude's thing over. And as the dude's still like shaking, he's like pulling his boot off to
Takes
like,
his shoes.
yep, to like put them on, which amazing.
Every hand scene in this was fantastic.
Yeah, so they go back. So he's like, "Oh, hey, you guys got any food?" And he's always hungry. That's what I love about the Hound.
For
He's
chicken?
always hungry. So, they're reminiscing about the good old days when they fought each other, and he's. Oh, and you see his dick.
Yep.
Yep.
My
Flips it
note
out.
was
Yeah.
all caps penis.
There you go. It might
No
not have
tits.
been. It could have been. It could have been a prosthetic.
No, that was
That was real.
penis.
It was from a very long shot too. It's like it was the other side of the river.
Damn it! You see boobs up close.
Yeah. You got your up close dick with the warts.
We've had a couple penises this season, haven't we?
Yeah, the wart one.
Yeah.
So they're trying to convince him like, "Hey, you should come fight with us because what we're fighting is worse than anything else, and maybe there's a reason that the Lord of Light let you defeat me back then." And he's like, "Well, I defeated you because I'm better than you." It's like always been better. So yeah.
Yeah, I beat you because I'm better than you.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of curious where this is going. I really don't think that Lady Stoneheart's going to be a thing, which is very disappointing because
Yeah, this is making me think no.
it kind of leaves. And I mean, like the other big thing from the end of the last book with Brienne and Jaime. Like, that whole thing is not going to happen now with the way Brienne and Jaime left and Jaime waves. So I forgot to mention that. But Jaime, like, gives the wave, like, "See you later, buddy." And she's like, "Yep,
Yeah.
ciao for now, bro."
See you
And so
soon.
it's just like that's not going to happen. And I thought that was a very interesting thing that I was actually hoping was going to happen. So,
Well, the other thing that Lady Stoneheart not happening is with Barrack's death, she becomes the leader of
the Brothers Without Banners,
the
right?
Brothers Without Banners. So yeah, you're right. Like, unless someone else has resurrected her, which who the hell could it be?
Right.
It isn't happening because it's been too long since the Red Wedding.
Right. Because it would be like she would be really gross.
Yeah.
So,
Eh.
I don't know. And I don't know. I don't know. We don't know.
No.
But it
Clearly,
doesn't.
we don't know.
But it doesn't look good. Let's put it that way.
No, we know nothing, Jon Snow.
We are all Jon Snows. Okay, so Arya's still passed out. The actress lady checks on her. She falls
What
off.
was the actress going to get?
Milk of the Poppy wake up stuff. I don't know. So she falls, and obviously she was helped to falling, but that looked really painful. The way her body was after. Anyways. So yeah, so she's dead, and Arya wakes
and then
up.
we get to the silliness.
Arya wakes up and sees Waif, and Waif says something. I don't even remember what she says. Whatever, it was dumb.
It's like but then Jack and scene just makes this make no sense.
Right.
But I thought because, you know, the faceless man, or at least Jackin, is a girl and she and those weird pronouns.
Yeah.
And then for Waif, it's clearly personal.
Right.
So I still thought at this point Waif was a test.
Right. Well,
and if Arya beats Waif...
I think Waif was a test.
Well, I guess she was, and then Arya just turned it down.
Right. And that's clearly what happened. So, okay. So, chase scene, whatever. Arya should have been dead.
Survived this. She should
have died 10 times.
So many
times. Jumping out the window. That was a little bit too high to not have anything broken. Sliding down those stairs, like when she slid under the cart, that would have hurt like fuck.
Yeah.
Basically,
what happened in this scene is what everyone thought was going to happen at the beginning. She was going to lead Waif on a chase, smear her blood,
right,
lead her into a darkened alley,
right,
and then beat her because she knew how to fight in the dark.
Because she knew how to fight in the dark. But she, like, so was she pretending to be that hurt at the end?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Who knows?
I don't know.
Still dumb.
Yep.
If this had happened right at the beginning,
yeah,
as we all thought it was, like we all thought it was a trap for Waif,
right?
Then yes. And I don't know if Chris, you paid attention to the scene, or Tyler too, where they did the freeze frame on the possible Sirio behind Waif.
Yeah, definitely not him.
And then when it actually happened in the scene, I was like, oh, we're all dumb.
Yeah.
We're all very, very dumb. We all wanted to believe so bad.
We're reading too much into things now.
Or is the show just become so silly that we just want to believe in the good that it was so bad?
It's still a good show. It's just... this episode let us down. This episode was a big letdown. Now, we got Bastard Bowl next week, so... Alright, so anyways, let's go back to this. So she leads her on the chase, leaving blood trails everywhere, gets to Needle, and Waif's like, oh, we'll make it quick. You want to be, like, kneeling down or standing up? And she's like, standing up, and picks up Needle and cuts the candle. You know, all the training because she was blind made her better. Cool. So then we go to the House of Black and White, and we see, like, drops of blood. Jaqen's, like, following the drops of blood. And, how
did she get in there?
Right, and then there's
no one noticing.
And then there's a face on the thing, and it's Waif's face. And Jaqen turns around, and Arya's got her sword pointed at him, and he's like, "Oh, you passed the test. You truly are no one." And she's like, "I'm Arya Stark of Winterfell, and I'm going home." And he gives this weird, like, smile nod thing. And I don't know what to make of it.
Is it still part of the test?
Is he okay? Okay, so I'm Jaqen Hagar, right?
Whoa, wait, what?
Yeah. So, and I've brought you into our secret brotherhood of assassins.
Taught you everything.
And I've given you months and months of training to be one of us. And you've passed all the tests. And now you're going to tell me to fuck off? Training ain't free, baby.
Yeah, she knows too much.
Right. She knows way too much.
This is a secret organization that kills people. And she's just like, oh.
So.
Okay, if it's so secret, how do they get hired?
Well, it's not that secret.
That's what I mean. Like, they gotta know.
But... so do we count the waif? Does the waif count as... Yeah, she does.
Blackfish?
I was thinking the blackfish.
The blackfish? Okay. Yeah, alright. The blackfish. I didn't record the time. Did anybody get it? I'll have to check next. I'll rewatch and check it for next week, and we'll determine the winner for next week. Because... Yeah,
I'm just glad it wasn't
I was thinking waif. I'm so glad it wasn't Bronn, and there was no Tormund, so it couldn't even have been him.
Yay!
You know who? You know when it can be Tormund though.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's making it out.
Did you guys watch the next time on?
No.
No.
They aired it right after.
I missed it.
So it
And?
looks epic. Okay, so John says to Melisandre, "Do not bring me back if I fall." Which to me, I'd be like, "No, fuck you. We're gonna bring you back." There's no way he's dying in this though. Like they already did that. They're not gonna be stupid and do that again. They showed Davos at what looked like it could have been where Shireen was burned.
Because they're close to there, apparently.
Yes.
Where they're camping is where it happened.
Right. And then it was just lots of fighting and the giant like slamming people and lots of fighting. I have a feeling that the whole next episode is just going to be Bastard Bowl.
That would be what they do in most of the...
well, except for Hardhome last year. They did half of a regular episode, and then the last half was all Hardhome.
But I just mean there's usually a big battle most of the episode
Yeah.
at the wall.
Yeah,
and
that
then
wall episode.
Blackwater.
Yeah, the wall episode was the best one, though.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about Tormund in the Bastard Bowl.
I would not be that. Yeah.
Right.
But then it's too much because it's like, like his boy, or sorry, his boy, Ygritte died at the last big battle, so you can't have his buddy die again. Like that's just too much. Like for me, it could be I could see like Davos going.
No, that's just as sad.
I agree, but. Next week's gonna be big because someone big's going next week.
Someone's dying.
Someone big is going next week, and it's just a matter of who it is.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. How do we think? Okay, so obviously Sansa's letter was to. We've had much time to
Forensic
think
analysis.
about it. So it definitely went to Littlefinger.
Yeah.
Do they show up? Are they going to show up like at the end, like with the?
Like Stannis did?
Well, no, not like like Stannis or like the Lannisters and the Tyrells did at Blackwater.
Right.
Are they going to show up right at the end, last minute, save the day, or are they going to?
Probably.
I read an interesting theory, as they've all been wrong. But
Okay,
this is
so
just a neat one.
Let's take it with a grain of salt.
That Sansa's kind of setting up Littlefinger, knowing he'll come, and then pulling the Bolton forces to Littlefinger first.
Okay.
And Littlefinger's gonna get his ass handed to him, and then there won't be many Boltons left, and then Jon Snow's gonna take them.
Ooh, not a bad idea, but
the Knights of the Vale will kind of be cannon fodder first.
I don't see them wanting to do that.
Yeah, I don't see Littlefinger dying.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting. There's no prognostication really in this episode. I don't know.
There's nothing we can really. So, well,
aside from who's gonna die.
Who's gonna die? Okay, so give me a time, and if you want to double or nothing.
I'm gonna go 37 minutes.
37. Okay.
I'm gonna go earlier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 22.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say Ramsay.
At 37.
Yeah.
Ramsay's not dying until the very end.
Of the episode or of the whole thing?
Of the episode. If he's dying in this episode, he's not dying till the very end. It'll be like
Tommen.
Tommen? We're not even going to see Tommen.
That you think? You think it's all Bastard Bowl?
I hope.
I don't want to say Tormund.
Right.
So
I know you don't
want to
say it. Yeah, Tommen. Okay, so I'm gonna go 41 minutes, and I'm gonna go Davos, and that makes me very sad.
I know. Anyone who dies now, we're getting to the nitty gritty.
We're getting to where we don't want these people to die anymore. Okay.
There's 2 more episodes left.
So we have 2 episodes left. This
How
is
do we
crazy.
Feel?
This is crazy. I mean,
How do you feel about the season so far?
The season's been good, but we gotta remember that this episode was a letdown. So don't let this episode taint the rest of your feelings for the whole season, because this season has been good so far. So one bad episode doesn't ruin the whole season. So let's see what they do next week. Let's see what they do next week. I think next week's going to be okay. I think Bastard Bowl's got to be good. We've been hyped up for it since Ramsay took Winterfell, basically.
I guess it's just been like the season's been hype.
Yeah.
And then this episode resolved a bunch of things they'd been hyping.
Right, and resolved them in shitty ways. Right. So let's hope that the rest of the stuff that needs to get resolved gets resolved in a kick-ass way.
Yeah, I guess that just the Siege of Riverrun was crummy.
Yeah, it was really like
crummy.
It was that Siege of Riverrun, to call it a siege.
Yeah. I mean, that's very loyal to the books, but just still the way they did it was crummy.
I'm okay with it not being a fight, but...
Yeah, Arya's arc was crummy, and as we discussed, the I choose violence was also crummy.
What a letdown.
The hype of that was such a letdown.
So, maybe we're becoming, we're hyping ourselves too much? Do you know what I mean?
Like, point of this. That's the point.
No, because it's... No, but I mean, like, think of the Game of Thrones, like, online community, and it's just a giant circle jerk echo chamber where it really is, where we're just like feeding each other's like hype, and it's like this guy says something cool, and then I'm like, oh my god, that's cool, and then I add my little spin to it, and then someone else adds their spin, and I got people at work and you guys, and we're all guilty of it, and we're all like letting ourselves down.
And it's all just simply Arya got stabbed, somehow survived, leaves the Faceless Men.
Right, because she needs to get back to Westeros.
Yeah, we all wanted to believe that it's bigger than it is, but it's not.
Right, and I mean, we all knew she was going back to Westeros. It was just like how she was going to get there. And is this the most boring path? Well, probably, but what are you going to do? So,
hope for a better episode 9.
All right, for next week, I will have the winners for this week's death thing and next week's, because I'm really bad at my job of being a host. What I'm not bad at, though, is reminding you to like us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, follow us on Stitcher. Subscribe. Subscribe on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube. We go live every week after the episode airs, 10:15 roughly Eastern time. Tune in live. rabbleofthrones.com/live gets you there. Anyways, tweet us. Tell us what you thought of the episode. Were you as let down as we were? Let us know in the comments below this video as well. I know you people are watching. I see the numbers. Just say something. Anyways, that's all we've got for this week. We'll see you guys next week.